Aloha. We are here with number 15, Google Rocks, Hawaii Hangout on Air. And today we have a really special show because we have three people are going to be talking about Hour of Code and coding and maker spaces and that sort of thing. And so it should be a really interesting show. I am Linda Lindsay, and let me show you who I am. And I will also, here I am, I'm Linda Lindsay from Seabury Hall, and according to my film strip, which is probably different from what you're using, but I'll go ahead and, what you're seeing, I'll go ahead and go from my left to right. So Anne, could you unmute yourself and tell us who you are, please?
Hi, I'm Anne. I'm at Kalani High School and the librarian, and I'm a little sick. Bye.
And Jerry, we have Jerry.
Oops, I guess I'm unmuted. I'm Jerry Isdale. I'm the founder of Maui Makers, local makerspace, and I teach classes on all sorts of maker technologies like programming and rocketry and all sorts of fun stuff.
Neat. Jody? I think you need to unmute yourself, Jody. This is Jody's cat. We don't know the name of the cat yet because
Hi.
Jody
Will be joining us today.
Sunny and I.
Sunny.
I'm
Cute.
Jody. I'm a Kalama Intermediate Librarian, and I'm here to listen. I'm going to mute.
Awesome. Michael?
Hi, I'm Mike Ficano. I'm a technology coordinator at Mililani EK Elementary School.
Michelle?
Hi, I'm Michelle Colte. I'm a librarian at Hale Kula Elementary School.
Rachel?
Okay. Hi, I'm Rachel Armstrong, and I'm a 5th grade blended learning teacher at Hale Kula Elementary School.
Great. We have a variety, as you can see, so it's going to be an awesome show. So what we're going to do is start off with Michelle and Rachel talking about Hour of Code and how they're going to be participating at Hale Kula, and we'll be asking questions as we go along, and then toward the end we'll have Jerry talk about how he does his maker space. So we'll just go with what happens. So Michelle, you want to start off?
Yeah. Okay. So a few weeks ago, I found, actually maybe about a month ago, let's see, where am I? I'll do this one. I saw in Google Plus that the Hour of Code was starting, and we should sign our students up. And I had no idea what it was, but I thought, oh, I wanted to check it out. So I went to the website. I'm trying to bring it up for you folks right now. Did it come up? You can. Okay, thanks.
It's beautiful.
So this is code.org, and they're sponsoring the Hour of Code, which coincides with Computer Science Education Week, which is always around December 9th to the 15th. And what they want to do is have, demystify computer programming and show how kids really can do it. And what you can do as a teacher is to sign up your students, and you can also sign up yourself, and there's different ways. There's so much promotional things on the website. Actually, I want to jump over to my website just for a second to show you something. So can you see the Hale Kula Library website now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here, what I want to call your attention to is that we have first graders who are doing coding. And so these are our first graders teaching our principal how to do code. And you can see, if you kind of squint at the picture, they're using, I think it's kind of basic drag and drop, like the Scratch type of coding. And here's two other first graders too. But what's really cute about it is that they are so excited to try, and they really stick with it and persevere. So I'm seeing problem solving and critical thinking and communication and just lots of neat things. It's really fun to see that even some of our youngest kids can do it. The couple things that I really like from that, wait, I want to go back to the website, is what Chris Bosch says, and I had no idea he was a famous basketball player, but all the kids knew. They were so excited to see him. And I love that idea that he said you're trying to transfer something from your from your mind to your computer or to your tablet. And I think that was really eye-opening for kids. They loved that. Can you see the library website again? Wait, I'm doing something wrong. What did I do wrong?
See it?
Okay, huh.
We
But
can
now
see it.
I'm inside the Hangout with my website. I want to be like on my. I
Oh,
clicked the wrong thing, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So screen. Sorry, everybody. Okay, I see. I
Right.
see. Okay. All right. Okay. And then I guess the last thing I want to say, and I'll just turn it over to Rachel then. Oh, I'm still seeing it that way. Wait, if I scroll, can you? Okay, you can. Um,
Yes.
On
It's a
on
separate
my
link.
website, I put it all together because you know we can't access YouTube. So there's a longer film that's about 15 minutes. There's the 1 minute one I just showed you, and then there's one that's about 5 minutes. And I've also put here, and you can find it at code.org. This is a link to a PDF for parents and teachers. And then these are really great iPad apps I want to tell you folks about. Codable is actually for young elementary. I would even say pre-K to grade 2. And the first grade teacher who lives on my street just stopped me when I was unpacking my car with Costco things, and she said her 4-year-old loves Codable. So that's a really accessible one. She said Hopscotch is a little hard, but that's another good app. And what the kids really love, I should show you this quick though actually, this is what they're doing, is they are just doing quick drag and drop. They love that it's Angry Birds. Code.org has made it so accessible by scaffolding it for the kids. They have quick videos that help them, and then these prompts that tell them, you know, stack a couple of move forward blocks and press run program. And so we do it together first. This is the only one I do with them, so they can see how it plays out. And after that, they just take off and go. And it's so cute because it's showing them how many lines of code they just wrote. The kids are so excited. They think it's really great fun. Actually, our principal and a retired tech coordinator have been vying for the most trophies in here. So it lets you go up to level 20, and then actually there's many other coding games you can play too. You can even make a holiday Christmas card with coding. So this is Computer Science and Education Week, their site, and it's linked from code.org. And you can scroll through. Here's the Angry Bird game we just played. There's a JavaScript one. There's unplugged activities in case you have bad bandwidth or you don't have access to computers, and other types of games. And then the holiday one is just here at the very top. I thought this was really fun. So actually, I think I'll stop talking and turn it over to Rachel because she attended some ISTE sessions and she has so many ideas for how she's going to incorporate the Hour of Code into her class.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. I started being interested in coding last year because I had 2 students who were actually very advanced with their tech skills, even coming into our one-to-one program. And one of them was using Xcode and making his own apps. And the other one was coding, and I thought, God, I have no idea what they're doing. So I thought, as a teacher, you know, I'm interested in it. So when we went to ISTE this time, there's this big trend towards gamification and all that, and I thought I want to go to class on that. So I went ahead when we were at ISTE, and I went to a session by Sheena, and I'm not sure last name how to pronounce, but Sheena V. And she taught me some pretty cool things. I'm just going to share some of those with you, and I think Michelle covered some of the other things I'm going to do. But let me screen share. Let's see. Okay, do you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. There
Not
we go.
yet?
I
Can
got
you see
it.
it now? Okay, excellent. Okay, so one of the things she brought up at the very first part of the session was talking about that the first computers weren't actually computers, they were humans, and she had this picture up there, and I thought, what a great picture, because it says at the bottom, early computers at work, and if you notice, they're actually all women. So I thought that was pretty amazing, and Michelle introduced me to this site, which is from the Library of Congress, and so you can take, so with the kids, I plan to have them look at this picture right here, where the women are the actual computers at that time. And I plan to have them use this tool online where they observe what they see in the picture, just real easy. And this is a really interesting tool for teachers, too, because while they're doing it online with the students, they can just press this button, and I don't know if you see those questions, but it'll say, what do you notice first? So if you kind of get stuck, it walks you right through it. So they're observing what they see in the picture, what inferences or what reflections they can make out of it, and what questions they have about the picture. And again, I just thought it's a good way to open up, because it's looking at the fact that computers are only there because of us, so we tell computers what to do. So I thought that was pretty cool. And just as a little bit of historical background is I also found this article, and it's talking about this lady right here who just turned 90, and she was a computer when computers wore skirts. So if that would be a little history to bring into it. But like Michelle said, she entered us in this hour of code for the whole entire school, and I think it's really awesome. And so what I was going to show you was just kind of how I was going to play it out with my kids, starting with the picture and what do they observe, and then going down here, and let me see if I can find the tutorials really fast. I probably should, I think it's under Teach. But starting with the picture, seeing what they observed there, let me see if I can find the tutorials quickly. Michelle, how did you get to that fast? Stuck.
I have it on the library.
I should have just gone there first. There should be I played around with it earlier and found it quickly. And I did go and play on my own, which is kind of funny because, again, trying to teach myself. Let's see if I can. No, not here. CSED. Here it is. Okay, Hour of Code Week. And then if you go down, you can see the variety of tutorials. But before I start here, I wanted to start with the picture. And then how Michelle had mentioned there's an unplugged activity down here, or there's a couple of them, actually. There's like a lesson 1 and a lesson 2. And what I did was I pulled it off there, and it's a pretty good lesson. So this lesson right here, can you see the cups? The cup stack pack?
Yes.
You guys see that? Okay, cool.
Sideways.
So, yeah, it's sideways. So basically, what this lesson is, though, is it's an attempt to do coding before you even put them on a computer, which is what one of the things the lady at the ISTE conference really stressed is that they need to see that they're the one telling the computer what to do. So this lesson plan is really cool because the kids have to give, in a team, directions without saying anything, just using these symbols. So they have to make an algorithm that will then, in turn, create one of these stacks of cups. So I thought that was a pretty neat little game to start with that doesn't even use the computer. The other lesson that actually is on there is about even looking at more from, I guess, what you would consider the movie The Matrix aspect. Well, how does a computer work? But more importantly, what are binary symbols that the computer uses to read letters? And so for younger kids, it said you could do color, no color, which is what you're seeing here. And for older kids, you could do ones and zeros. So those are pretty interesting things, but I think out of all the things I looked through here and actually played around with myself, I was going to have the kids do this one at home because my kids are a little bit older, they're in 5th grade, but I was definitely going to have them play around with Scratch and create an account there and make a holiday card. I signed up to find out when Tinker was going to release this, but I haven't heard news yet on this tutorial, but basically this would be where they build their own game, and I think mine would be interested in that. But moving on a little bit more, because that's for beginners, and I think most of the students would fall there in elementary school, but I think the upper grades may be able to move, and I'm definitely taking mine there, to learning JavaScript. So I went into this lesson, and what's really neat about this lesson is it's not even, well, the first video is a YouTube video. Oh, sorry, my internet's a little slow, so it's connecting. But the first video is a YouTube video, so obviously I won't be able to show that in school. But this is from Khan Academy's computer science section, and so they won't be able to see this piece, but when they click on this intro to drawing, basically what it will have over here is a play section where it'll walk them through the steps to take, and the little boy is teaching it to them. It's actually a little boy teaching it to them when they press play here. And then when they click the challenge, then they try to do it themselves. So it's almost like they get a video on it, and then they take the challenge. And I don't know if I press play if you'd be able to hear it, but you'll definitely probably be able to see it. Do you guys hear that?
No.
Kind of blippy.
Blippy?
Yeah.
Well, let me just see if we can even look at the, okay, so you see, if I pull this forward, how it's going to walk them through actually making shapes and using coding. And now another thing I learned at ISTE is that this also can be done on a paper, and I don't have the paper pulled up here tonight, but she gave us a grid, and so this is pulling in more of the math aspect of it. So they're actually coding on paper and understanding what these things meant. And when I first did this, I actually got confused there during that class session, I'm going to be honest. Because what I was thinking, every time I think rectangle, I'm thinking these are the 4 coordinates, and that's really not what it's talking about. Over here, it's almost talking about the length and the width, and over here, one of these 2 is talking about where it's located inside your space, 2 of them, and 2 of them are talking about your actual dimensions. So I kept getting a little bit confused with that, but I think this is a really good way to show kids, because then when they go to the challenge section, section, excuse me, they will actually try to build the H and make it, you know, and I think I've already played around with this one, so I earned some points there, but it'll tell them if they do it wrong or if they do it right. So that was one of the things I thought was pretty cool on Hour of Code. Another one that I liked in this JavaScript section was not this one so much. I looked at it, and not this one so much, but I thought some of my boys will really like this Code Combat one, and it was really simple. Basically, this one is more just changing the different numbers to see what happens. It says, well, it says the level could not be loaded. Oh, here it goes. The wizard's setting up. So they choose their character, and basically they try to get this character through the maze. So they can choose whoever they want in the hat color, and then they have to maneuver it and change the numbers in order to get the character through the maze. So I thought the Code Combat one, and it's pulling up slow, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but I thought that was a pretty cool one as well. This one was more at a high school level, so I told my 2 kids from last year who were really good at coding, I told them they should definitely go check this out because this is more the level they're at. But what I think is great, and I think Michelle already mentioned for teachers, is that the tutorials are already there. So basically, it's really simply set up for the teacher, and I like that because then it's much easier for you. You don't have to prep as much, and then you can have the kids go on and they learn at their own pace. So if they're a kid that is really advanced or really into it, they can keep going, and if not, not. So that's basically what I had to share. Again, just starting with the history part of it, that that we tell the computers what to do. They don't just magically do it, and that they can all do it. And I think, again, the nicest part is that the tutorials are set up through code.org, and the kids can move at their own pace. So, like that.
That is really awesome, Rachel. I wanted to welcome Casey. Casey is a new person. He's drinking water or something else, maybe. Hi, Casey. Welcome. Casey Agena is from Punahou, correct?
Yeah, I'm from Punahou.
Yeah, nice to have you here. Fantastic. We're talking about code.org and Hour of Code, you know that. And so welcome. Join in the conversation if you want to. I do have a question for Rachel and Michelle, either one. Well, probably Michelle, because I know, Michelle, you set up your school, your entire school, to participate. And so how would, okay, say we haven't participated yet and we want to. How do we go about doing that? And I know there are different levels of participation. Could you explain about that a little bit?
Sure. So actually what I would just recommend doing is going to code.org and signing yourself up as a teacher. And then they might ask you, I don't know if I can find it fast. Let me see if I can find it quick. Well, I actually want to show you folks something else too. You know Megan, she's not here in our Hangout with us, but she designed this t-shirt because there's kind of another exciting part for us at Hale Kula, but you'll find out about that later. So anyway, though, we're really pushing it with our kids, and I think, Linda, to answer your question, one of the ways I would get involved is actually just to, if you're, especially as librarian, if you can put it on your library website like I did, and I'm introducing it in library lessons, so the kids can just click here and they can play Angry Birds. When they're ready to go on to coding, Scratch, they can try that. Also, I have lots of information for parents here, and so I want to invite you folks too, as you're pulling things together, to grab it here, or else at Hour of Code. So let's see, when you're here, how can I participate? They really walk you through it. This is at csedweek.org, and they walk you through the process. Oh, sorry, you still see
T-shirt. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Apologies. Okay, wait.
If you're in the same,
if I go back
if you're in
here,
the same window, it'll change. But if you change window, then you have to rescreen share.
Okay, so I want this.
So if you're
okay, thank you.
Tabs, there you go.
Yeah, I have too many accounts open, that's why. Okay, so anyway, at csedweek.org, they walk you through it, how you could host it, how you can participate, and they give you so many suggestions here. So even if it's just kids coming into your library, you know, in the next few weeks, you might just pull them over and show them the Angry Birds game. It really catches their attention. They love it. They don't want to stop. I always tell them, this is the hardest thing you'll do all day now when you close this window and get ready to leave. And so you can sign your organization up, your classroom. They give you option school, after school club, and they really do want it to be K to 12 and beyond. So like Rachel said, you know, we are starting at our elementary school with that Angry Bird tutorial, the drag and drop coding, but there's so many options they've set up for you. And on the promotion tab, they have, like I said, the videos, they have posters you can make, just lots and lots of things. One thing I discovered, let me see if I can find it again. I really liked this PowerPoint, but I wish they would put it on SlideShare because I uploaded it to my Google Apps myself. And I think this is where it became really powerful to my principal especially, and she really got on board, is when she saw that there's 1 million unfilled programming jobs and only 400,000 graduates each year. So we thought if we really want to prepare kids to be college and career ready, or if we really want to give them the strengths of STEM, then we need to look at coding. And I don't know if I can find the slide quick. This kind of reiterates that again. It's taught in only 10% of American schools, but actually it's already in the curriculum in Australia, China, and the United Kingdom. So, you know, that's why Bill Gates and different folks are behind this week, because they really describe it as America's untapped opportunity, and we do need to get our kids ready. So I guess there's kind of that. Yeah.
I wanted to show how the different schools do different things. So I was talking to Peter Hansen, and I'm going to screen share his presentation just for you to look at it. But I wanted to point out the show notes that we usually have with our show. And so we're going to be adding links to this. This is typical of what we do with our show. And so as we add things, I see Michael is in here possibly adding more links. So this will be part of the YouTube, this link, Hour of Code GR15. But one of the things that it will be available here is Peter Hansen's EAO Intermediate School Scratch presentation. So his group, I don't think it's the entire school, although this might be just one of the things that he's doing, but he has a whole presentation on Scratch, which he's willing for us to, he's willing to share with us. In fact, when I asked him if I could share it, I told him he had to, and he says, please feel free to use and share, but he had to have his name on there because we definitely want to give him credit for that. So that is another school's participation. So each school, what I'm trying to point out is that each school has their way of doing it, depending on the enthusiasm, like people like you, Michelle. What that's going to look like during that week of coding will be totally different at Hale Kula as it will in EAO. Anybody else on the panel has signed up or is thinking of signing up or anything like that? You're doing it at your school?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what's happening there?
Nothing too major. I think I'm just going to introduce the teachers to it next week. Give them some resources and some ideas on how they can share it in their classroom.
Awesome.
During the week of Career Science Week.
Okay. We have a question on the question and answer, and I'm going to select it, and maybe Michelle and other people can answer it. Andrew is asking what types of code languages would be taught to children, and I think we did talk about Scratch as one, and the website that Michelle showed has all the different ones, right? Could you name them again, Michelle?
Yeah, so on code.org, they have tutorials that show the kids or walk the kids how to do, I think, JavaScript and Scratch, and actually I can't remember some of the others, but if you go to code.org, that's where you can find the tutorials and different programs.
Great.
I don't think besides...
Go ahead, Michael.
Besides JavaScript, I don't think it's really teaching any specific coding language like C++ or that kind of stuff. I think it's just getting kids interested in the idea of coding and what it what it involves and what it entails.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily any specific code,
Right.
just very basic, low-level coding skills and what it might be like.
And actually, yeah, actually there are other options. So you don't have to be a student to participate. I think it says from 6 to 106. But there's an option where different, let me see if I can find that.
Go back to those 107-year-olds can participate.
Yeah, let me find that. It's Khan Academy is one of the programs. Let me show that if I can find it. Okay, I'll just go to code.org.
Yeah, the Khan Academy one is teaching JavaScript. Scratch is another, or is one of the visual programming ones where you drag and drop those lines of code on it, which is debatable. There are a lot of other similar ones.
Yeah.
I prefer the text ones just because I'm a coder. A lot of people like the drag and drops.
Right.
Especially for younger kids.
I think it goes back to age level because I think on code.org it's mainly JavaScript is all they have there, and I think that just depends on the age you're working with. I think the upper elementary can definitely do that. Maybe the younger ones, it's a way to start with the younger ones, is the drag and drop like Tinker and Scratch. And I found this really neat website I kind of want to share with you guys as well. That so I'm gonna screen share real fast if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I forgot to share this one. Okay, do you guys see my screen now or no? Okay, so this is actually, it's called Kids Can Code. I think it's a relatively new site. I was just playing around looking, and you see myself posting on the Padlet right here. But it also has resources, but what I really thought was interesting, because Michelle mentioned that in other countries they're looking more at this, was this Australian curriculum. And I thought this was pretty interesting because, I don't know what their years necessarily equate to compared to ours, but it shows what they teach kids per each year in school. And I thought that's pretty neat to see, as well as some of the resources they have here. So one of my kids was doing Xcode last year. I definitely want that Scratch resource, the presentation. I think that's great. I also have a couple tutorials that my kids have created, if you want me to put them on there as well.
Yes, that's great.
From a kid voice. But here is some Xcode templates on this one too, and it's called kidscancode.com. So I think that's a pretty neat one to share. But anyways, I was just butting in. I forgot to mention that one.
That's great. I'm going to, while you guys are talking, or maybe Michael can do this, is it possible for you to share with Rachel the show notes, Michael?
Oh, yeah.
If you would do that, and then she can add the links, not necessarily right now. And if you don't get a chance, I'll go ahead and do it later. But that would be great to have some of the links for people to follow up on. Okay, any other questions? Okay, that was quick. Alrighty, so Jerry has come on. Jerry Isdale has come on. He made a comment on. We see him only in static. Hopefully, his video will come. And there you go. He made a comment on the event, and this time I invited several organizations within Hawaii to the event. So I'm thinking that that's why we seem to have lots more action, which is great. We have 5 viewers at the moment, which is fantastic. And of course, people view it elsewhere afterwards as well. But anyway, Jerry was made a comment, and I said, why don't you come on and talk about what you do? And so here he is. So Jerry, you want to talk about makers and...
Okay. Well, I run this group, Maui Makers. We've been running it for about 3-4 years. Makers is part of a worldwide movement of people who like to make stuff. A maker space is a shared library or shared workspace, tools and equipment and so forth. And we were meeting for a long time down at the Punahou school back in their what they call their cafeteria building. but we lost that space back in June. They needed it for some sort of resource coordinator or something. And so we have been kind of homeless down there. We haven't been running class. We haven't been meeting on a regular basis there. The University of Hawaii Maui College has offered us a space, and now we're meeting over there, generally on Thursday nights. I've been teaching and teach a lot of classes with the kids and adults. We have 3D printers. We have a laser cutter. We do a lot of electronics. I've done paper crafting. A popular one with the kids is compressed air rockets. Taught that class at UH Maui and also at the Boys and Girls Club over in Haiku. Basically teaches kids how to make a quick rocket and launch it with compressed air. They can go pretty far. Just recently I've been teaching a lot of Arduino classes. Arduinos are small microcontrollers. Does anybody not know what a microcontroller is? Wave your hands. I don't see any hands.
You can tell us because maybe somebody in the audience doesn't know.
Yeah.
This thing here is a little microchip. That's a computer, and that's almost the entire computer. There are hundreds of these in and around you right now. Almost everything that's sold these days comes with at least one of these little chips in it. Most of the electronics that you buy, or a car, or anything else like that, your toaster, has 1 to a dozen of them in there. Up until a few years ago, they were extremely expensive to build, to learn how to use and develop with. But a Italian design school decided to teach people how to use them, or make a cheap one, so they made the Arduino, which in Italian means strong friend. And they made it really easy to program it, and they made the board design and all the software free. The boards were costing, you can buy them at Radio Shack for about 30 to 40 bucks, maybe a little more on some of the boards. But I wound up with getting involved in a Kickstarter with a company called Borderless Electronics, and they made these boards and sold them for 10 bucks a pop. And they came with a few extras, like one of these little what they call a breadboard, which you can plug electronics into. And then they give us a bunch of electronics, like LEDs. Everybody likes light up blinkies and so forth. And with about an hour or so of training, less if we go intensively and don't worry about the background information, we can get just about anybody from maybe 4th grade up to wire one of these up and to program with them. It doesn't take a lot to do it, but I now have 100 of these boards sitting in a box over here, courtesy of this Kickstarter and Maui County Office of Economic Development, who gave us a grant to actually buy the boxes, the chips. Next up is a grant to go for MEDB to teach them to the schools and to give the kids. The plan is to get about 40 of these into teams and give the teams 50 bucks worth of credit to buy other electronics, and then see if we can have a sort of like a science fair with them, and find out who can do cool things with them. People use them for making robots. 3D printers often come with an Arduino in them. I've used them for a lot of light up blinky and sound systems, lights that react to sound. There's a version of it that you can use for sewing the electronics into your clothing. And I've taught classes on how to do that to kids. We taught it at the Teach a Girl Engineering, or Introduce a Girl to Engineering program that MEDB runs. Taught a class on that about a year or so ago. But I wanted to come on and let you know that we have these things, and I'm interested in hooking up with more of the teachers and librarians around the islands to introduce these programming electronics, programming 3D modeling for doing 3D printing, and getting that out to the schools and to the kids and kids of all ages.
Can you come to my library?
Where are you?
Seabury Hall.
Say, oh,
We
yes,
talked-
okay. I was
we
wondering.
talked
Yes,
a
I can come to your library.
Okay, yay. We'll have to figure something out for sure.
We'll come up
Maybe
and
in our
do
Hawaiian, like a little demo maybe during lunch to get the kids excited.
Yeah, some demos of the capabilities of it would be fun to do. I'd be happy to do a bunch of touring around the island to do that. And I wasn't quite sure. I think some of this crew is off-island, is non-Maui, and some of it is Maui. Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
The people, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was looking at the question and answers. What did you say? I wasn't paying attention.
The question is, this is a mixed crowd of mixed islands.
Oh, Jody and I are from Maui. Everybody else is from Oahu, and you are from Maui. So
I'm
3
from Maui.
Mauians, and the rest are Oahu. We have 3 viewers, no telling where they're from. Could
And,
be the world.
Bob Martin says if you could send one to Na'alehu.
Na'alehu? That, I think that's the Big Island.
Big Island?
It could be the Big Island. And I don't know who Dante Reeves is.
The Big Island. There are maker spaces. There are 2 maker spaces over on Oahu and 1 over in Hilo, as well as the Kauai Maker Group. So we've got groups on several of the islands right now. And a couple weeks back, I went to the Hawaii Library Association meeting, and with some friends from Detroit, gave a presentation about setting up maker spaces in libraries, both school libraries and public libraries.
Yes.
There was a lot of interest over there in Oahu about it, and also here on Maui.
Yeah, good.
There's a couple of the schools actually are getting together. Iolani, I think it was one of them, was stepping up to with the maker space over there on Oahu to host their upcoming Maker Fair in March.
Oh, I didn't even realize there was going to be one.
Yeah, a little
That's
mini
pretty
Maker
neat.
Fair. We're talking
Nice.
about one here, but we haven't found a venue, or actually I haven't found anybody to do the organizing, because I've got enough to do without organizing yet another fair.
Right, right.
I'll happily
Interesting.
participate, but I don't need. I'm not a event organizer myself.
Interesting. Well, lots of possibilities. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate adds depth to our conversation here. Really appreciate you coming on. Anybody else have any questions or anything to add about either coding or maker spaces, or anything to ask of Jerry? Anyone?
I just wanted to add in and say, Linda, that I attended Jerry's presentation and also the presentations by the librarians from Detroit at HLA, and they were awesome presentations. And what I loved about them, too, is it gave me lots of ideas of ways I could get started in my library in just small ways. Like one suggestion was to kind of look around your community and what is an interest there. And they gave this the example in Detroit that the teens were interested in repairing their bikes, so they contacted a local bike shop owner, and he came in and did workshops for the teenagers there in the library, and they did a lot of other great things. So I'm kind of looking around our students too and kind of seeing what their interests are, and then I want to go from there. So it is exciting. And hey, Rachel, I was thinking we should host a maker fair too, but I guess I need to wait for the new building before we do that.
So many projects, right? We all want to do so many things.
One thing at a time. Or maybe 3. 4.
Jerry, I'm at Kalama Intermediate, which is only about a mile away from Seabury. I don't know if you have your chat column turned on or not, but I would love to contact you. And so if you give Linda your email address, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn my chat column back on.
There you go.
There it goes.
Yay.
We might be
Yeah,
able to do something together, Jody.
Yeah,
Maybe
that'd be really great.
Yeah, then that would save Jerry some time to teach both of us. That'd be kind of cool.
Excellent. Thank you. Got it.
Yeah, I live out in Haiku by Ulumalu area, Piahi, and coming into Makawao is not a problem.
Excellent.
Okay.
We're happy to come out there and talk. Especially intermediate, middle schools, and so forth. On up is the target area for me. I don't teach well with the lower kids, but be happy to teach the older ones.
That's
Right.
great.
Well, Jody's at intermediate, and we're
Yep.
6 through 12, so that would be perfect.
Excellent.
Yay! Connections, love it, love it. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Thanks for having me. Glad to be representing Punahou School here. Been able to kind of connect with Jerry via the Hawaii Makers group on Facebook, and working with some different community groups. One, the YMCA here in Honolulu is really interested in hosting a Maker Core this summer, and so I've been able to kind of do that application out, and we'll see what happens there. Second thing is here in Kaka'ako, I've been working with a number of different people to do an hour of code on the 15th of December at the Box Jelly, trying to get a bunch of different coders who have participated in startup weekends over the past couple of years, and they've been willing to donate their time for an hour of code, and so we're trying to get an event going on. It's kind of a short time span, but the owners of the Box Jelly are willing to host something there. At Punahou School, we have our iOS app class that's going to be facilitating an hour of code that week sometime. They were able to pitch out at the Honolulu Tech Meetup last week, Thursday night at the Fix down in Chinatown, and pitch out that they really love to have the community connect with Punahou School to have them involved, programmers and such. And particularly our fourth graders, Jerry would love this, that we've, one of our classrooms, we've pegboarded an entire classroom to put, while you may want to put pencils and things like that, we put saws, drill bits, all these kinds of things in this one fourth grade teacher's classroom. He was all stoked to do it. The last math project that he was doing was having kids design the latest and greatest army pants. And so the kids were kind of designing army pants for pockets, and it was a whole math project they were doing. So they actually sew, which was awesome. I mean, they borrowed some sewing machines and things like that. So I just wanted to throw that shout out to Jerry. He's kind of helped to throw a lot of things up on the Hawaii Makers Facebook group to kind of give some ideas on how even sewing and things like that is part of a makery. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
anyway, my my role in all of this is strictly.
I was just going to ask you that.
I have like so many different connections. It's more of a external connection. Like I can find different people and places, programmers, designers, who are really interested in the ed piece. So I can really make that connection between schools and industry, and that's what my kind of role has been at the school.
Neat. Would you say you're an ed tech specialist, Casey, or what would you say?
No, if anybody kind of reads different things, like I guess good to grade and things like that, I guess I'm just kind of my role is kind of like connector.
Connector. Okay. All right.
I don't specialize in anything. I can bring people together.
Facilitator.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey, I
Thanks
have a
for coming.
couple of questions for Casey. One question is, you mentioned that YMCA wants to do some maker things in the summer. Did you mean that that would be like summer programs for the K to 12 kids, or what were they? What is YMCA planning?
Well, I'm on the board of the YMCA, so I just through a thread of Facebook comments on the Hawaii Makers group, I was able to kind of get some questions answered from Jerry about how to fill out that application, and while we may when we applied, we would like to do something specifically for the teens and high school kids that we work with, and I'm trying to get different community organizations or nonprofits, business startups to kind of help to be involved. And you know, a lot of different groups do have education committees, whether it's design organizations such as AIGA or the Computer Science Club over at the UH Manoa. So there's a lot of groups that like to be involved K-12. It's just about giving them a window of opportunity to be interfaced with kids.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and thanks for that. And then you mentioned a place I hadn't heard of, and I was just wondering, I think you called it Box Jelly. Is that a makerspace, or what is that space?
Actually, Oahu Makerspace resides within the Box Jelly.
No. The high capacity is at Box Jelly. Oahu Makerspace is at the Woodshop.
Honolulu Makerspace, right?
Oh. Yeah.
High capacity, yeah. I'm sorry, Jerry. Thanks.
No problem. But it's Box Jelly is a co-working space, and the high capacity in the back is a makerspace.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Okay. And hey, Jerry, didn't you have some really fun glasses at HLA that you had programmed? You don't have those handy for our Hangout?
No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't remember where they are. They might be over in the house, which is 50 yards that way.
You put him on the spot, Michelle.
Sorry, Jerry. Sorry. They were just awesome glasses, though. It was fun.
I do have a Tesla coil we're building.
Fantastic.
And
okay.
Spectrometer. And there is the 3D printer here, the laser cutter over there. So yeah, we have some fun stuff here. Hoping to share more of it. I was really interested. There was a comment before about having the kids do real-world programming in as a first step, and that was something I've seen in a couple of places as a really good way of getting people to figure out, what it takes step by step to do it, and the problems that they run into when you try and be very explicit and follow rules. You're like the computer has to follow the rules, and it screws up regularly because you forgot to put a comma in the right place, or you told it to go left and you really meant to go right, but it will go left no matter what you do. That was a nice thing. I like that.
Interesting.
I think sorry.
Go ahead, Richard.
I just wanted to add, because it sounds like a lot of us have kids doing things at different places, and I would love for my class to hang out with any of the kids that you guys are working with. So if anyone wants to have a Google Hangout and connect their kids with my classroom, I would love to do that, and then the kids themselves could share out what they actually did during Code Week. So I think that'd be great. So anyone that's open to that, I'd appreciate that.
That would be awesome. We should somehow publicize that, promote that. That would be really cool. Okay. Anything else? It's been such a full show. It's really fantastic. We should have more of these full shows. I feel like the one thing that I'm thinking the person who's watching this who doesn't know much about makerspaces, how can they get involved without, there's so many things going on. Casey's doing things here, Jerry's doing things, so if I'm feeling overwhelmed, what would be my first step to getting involved with makerspaces, that sort of thing?
One of the first steps, probably the easiest step would be to going on one of the websites and follow and just reading up on some of the things in that area. There are some great books about it because most of you are librarians and like the dead trees.
No. No bad comments, please.
That's not a bad comment. I have a lot of dead trees myself. And I do happen to like them. I posted a couple links over on the side to both High Capacity and the Oahu Makerspace. Here is also a link to a group called, makered.org, which is the Make Media's educational initiative. Casey mentioned the Maker Corps, which you can find a link to on that page as well. Makered.org. I posted the link over there in the comments down over here.
Okay.
The Maker Corps is a neat program they ran last year, and they're doing again this year, where they host sites can sign up, and then they will send them a box. Each of the mentors will get a box you have to pay for, a box they call a possibilities box, and then each week during about a 6-week training period, they walk people through different things to do, and then they teach you more. Then you're expected to teach some sort of a kid program. And let's see, and there's makezine.com, which is a magazine, a classic magazine, paper magazine, as well as the online one that explains a lot of the different things that go on. A lot of different, their blog has lots of different experiments and kid stuff. They're very much into getting kids involved in making. And one of the key things there is that making is a very broad definition of what makers do. Everybody is a maker is one of the memes for that. Cooking is making, sewing is making, crafting is making, woodworking is making. People ask me what I make, and I have to go back to this summer where in 1 week I was making a vegetable garden, I was making deerskin moccasins, and I was making satellites. So it runs a large gamut of what we can do, but it's very easy to get involved and get learning more about the basic things.
Neat, neat. I wanted to, I was going to ask people to share in our Google Doc, but I noticed that our panelists have been busy populating the Google Doc with lots of information. That is fantastic. Behind the scenes people, oh my goodness, not only Michael, who's the usual good person helping me along, but we have Michelle and Rachel as well. This is like the best show notes we've ever had. So what we're going to do when we upload it to YouTube, you will see this link right here, bit.ly Hour of Code GR15, and you'll be able to access all these wonderful sites, which are fantastic. I'll go ahead and share the doc with you, Casey, as well, if you want to add something. How's that sound? Did the screen share show? Was I?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it did show. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. Alrighty. Fantastic. Wow. I feel like I need to go study the Google Doc. See what's all there. Kawaii Makers. All kinds of good places. Okay, awesome. Okay, we are at 8:04 and about the witching hour. We still have 5 viewers, which is fantastic. Yay. Okay, so I think it's a topic that a lot of people are interested in, and I really appreciate all the participation that has gone on today. And what we're going to do now is sign off. Panelists, if you want to stay on, we're going to talk about what we're going to do next week. And it's always like this. We always think about what we want to do. It's called Google Rocks, but we, as you can tell from today's show, we talk about other topics as well. We're very interested in what's going on, kind of thing, and love to have all these wonderful different people on here. Much appreciated. Anyone want to do any parting comments or questions? Michelle? Michelle usually has questions. No?
No, I just want to encourage the viewers and even those of us on the panel to ask their student or invite their students and teachers to participate in Hour of Code.
Awesome. So that is a wonderful, wonderful summary. And with that, I'm going to stop the broadcast. And aloha to everyone. Thank you so much all for participating. And we'll see you next week. And look for whatever we're going to talk about. We don't know yet. Aloha.